Welcome to this new English class at Edutin Academy. Today, you will learn how to talk about crimes and how to give extra details about these crimes using relative clauses. Knowing how to use relative clauses will help you give extra information about nouns through different types of storytelling and text. However, for today's class, we'll focus on writing stories and news about crimes. Let's listen to the example and see how we can see relative clauses used within a text. Listen carefully and try to answer the following question. What's the crime mentioned in the example and how does Frida Guerra connect to it?
Hunting the men who killed women in Mexico. On the night of 2019, Jessica Jaramillo disappeared after telling her parents she would be with a man who was firstly assumed to be her ex-boyfriend and 10-month-old son's father. Jess's father found this suspicious as Oscar was no longer in the picture of his daughter's life when Jessica texted him not to worry. Jess, whose dead body was found by her parents a week after sending that last message to her father, was a 23-year-old psychology student that spent most of her time at university, church, and with her baby. After she texted her father, her brother and his fiancée grew concerned and logged into her computer to locate her phone. The last place where her cell phone was pinned was in Villas Centin, a satellite of Toluca. After arriving at the location, neighbors instructed the family to look into a street which they said was home to a strange young man, 136 Ponciano Diaz Street. The man that they accused of knowing something always wore a black shirt tucked into black cargo pants, with calf-high black combat boots. Jessica's family panicked as there were more than 73,000 people that were considered missing at the time, and they didn't want Jessica to be another statistic. They made the report, but the police said Jessica was an adult who had left with this Oscar guy on her own accord. However, this obviously didn't help, as when they finally decided to help, they found only her corpse with other dead women's bodies. Frida Guerra, a journalist, joined the case to help the Jaramillo family find the man that had killed Jessica, but they had to start where they had found the bodies.
Let's remember the question, and I give you 10 seconds to choose among the following options. What's the crime mentioned in the example and how does Frida Guerra connect to it? A. Oscar's kidnapping and Frida is a police officer. B. Jessica's murder and Frida was the killer. C. Jessica's murder and Frida was a journalist helping the family. D. Oscar's murder and Frida was the killer. You did it! The correct answer is C. Now let's see how we can use relative clauses to tell these types of stories. We usually use defining relative clauses to give information about something. This information can help us identify, classify, or to define a noun, a person, an object, an animal, and so on. We use who and that for people. We use which and that for things. We use whose to show possessions and relationships. We use when for time and where for a place. It's important to remember that you can omit the relative when it comes before a noun or a pronoun, but you cannot omit it if it comes directly before a verb. Let's see some examples appear in the crime story. On the night of 2019, Jessica Jaramillo disappeared after telling her parents she would be with Oscar, who was her ex-boyfriend and 10-month-old son's father. Jess, whose dead body was found by her parents a week after sending that last message to her father, was a 23-year-old psychology student that spent most of her time at university, church, and with her baby. The last place where her cell phone was pinned was in Villa Satin, a citadel of Toluca. They had to start where they had found bodies. Neighbors instructed the family to look into number 136 Ponciano Diaz Street, which they said was home to a strange young man. Frida Guerra, a journalist, joined the case to help the Jaramillo family find the men that had killed Jessica. So, to wrap up, you'll need relative clauses to give extra information about a noun. These relative clauses vary depending on the information you're given. Now, I invite you to tell us in short words about a crime, giving us the important extra information. Let us know by participating in our comment section. Don't forget to give at least 2 comments to your partners. It was a pleasure to have you today. See you next class.
¿Te ha gustado este video? Te invito a continuar tu aprendizaje ingresando a edutin.com, donde encontrarás más de 6,000 cursos gratis y con certificado. Además, podrás interactuar con personas de todo el mundo. Ingresa ahora o descarga nuestra aplicación móvil.